Tôi rất cảm ơn ông Gillespie đã có mặt.
Sorry.
Stay away, Jay.
Thank you. Over here. Okay, thank you.
One more. Okay.
Thank you so much. Thank you. See y'all again. Thank you so much. Good to see you, sir. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you so much. So good to see you. Thank you, sir. Good to be with you today. Coming out. Thank you. Thank you all so much for being here. Good to see you. No kidding. That's so great.
Kính thưa tất cả quý vị, như quý vị đã thấy đó, thưa tất cả quý vị, như quý vị đã biết, ông nghe Gillespie đã đến đây và chút xíu ở đây thì có một vị thượng nghị sĩ, đó là ông Thống sẽ đến đây trong vài phút nữa. Vì vậy cho nên chúng tôi xin quý vị cho chúng tôi vài phút để chờ đợi anh thượng nghị sĩ Bowman Ladies and gentlemen, would you please give us a few more minutes? We can just wait for the Senator Rob Butler. He will be over here in the next few minutes. Ladies and gentlemen, the first thing I would like to tell you this. We thank you very much for everything, and especially you come over here tonight. But the first thing, we're very, very sorry that this place is too small to accommodate the very big crowd like this. So, thưa tất cả quý vị, chúng tôi xin lỗi quý vị. Cái buổi tối hôm nay quý vị đã đến rất là đông đảo, nhưng mà cái phòng này rất là chật hẹp, vì vậy cho nên xin quý vị thông cảm. Và bây giờ thì xin tất cả quý vị có thể ngồi tại chỗ để chúng ta bắt đầu chương trình. Ladies and gentlemen, good evening. On behalf of the organizing committee, I am more than happy to welcome you to our event and thank you for attending. Your presence over here tonight to show your strong support to the candidate for the governor of Virginia, Mr. Ed Gillespie, is greatly appreciated. And thank you very much for your, again, thank you for your help and thank you for your attending. Thưa tất cả quý vị, chúng tôi rất vui mừng để đón chào quý vị trong buổi sinh hoạt hôm nay, để đến đây để gặp mặt sự ủng hộ rất cần thiết của quý vị để dành cho ông, và chúng tôi chân thành cảm ơn tất cả quý vị. And now to start the event tonight, would you please stand rise for the national anthem for the United States of America and the Republic of Vietnam and a moment of silence. All national anthem will be sung by Miss Jennifer Viện.
Người Việt Nam cho đến muôn đời không xa đời. black hole.
Một phút mặc niệm để tưởng nhớ quê hương cánh chiến Việt Nam Cộng hòa đã bị quốc công thân. Một phút mặc niệm để tưởng nhớ đồng bào và chiến sĩ đã hy sinh trong các cuộc tù của Cộng sản. A moment of silence to honor and remember over 58,000 U.S. Armed Forces personnel who fought and sacrificed their lives to defend the freedom of Republic of Vietnam. Phút mặc niệm chấm dứt. Xin chân thành cảm ơn tất cả quý vị. This concludes the opening ceremony. Thank you very much. Please be seated. Thưa tất cả quý vị, và tiếp theo đây thì như chúng tôi đã nói là cái đêm của buổi thì hôm nay buổi sinh hoạt hôm nay đó là vị ứng cử viên tranh chức thống đốc của tiểu bang Virginia, và chúng tôi hân hạnh để giới thiệu với quý vị một người bạn rất thân của ông sẽ giới thiệu ông với tất cả quý vị. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time I would like to introduce to you the very good friend of Mr. Ed Gillespie, Mr. Jerry Lee will have few words to introduce Mr. Gillespie to you.
How y'all doing today? Good. First of all, I want to say to y'all, thank Ms. Kathy, to Ed Gillespie for having me, and the Gillespie team. Just a little insight on who I am. I'm a returning citizen. I spent 23 years in prison. I was released, and I started doing work in urban communities in Richmond, Virginia. With these works that I was doing in the community, Ed always came out to support. I finally got my rights back and will be voting for the first time in this election. But speaking to the man that I'm about to bring to the stage, he was supporting me when I didn't have my rights back. He gave me a fair chance as a man when I couldn't even vote. The first time I met Mr. Gillespie, I spoke and he took his notepad out and he started writing stuff down. And to me, that's a big deal because I never thought that I was going to have an impact on anybody's life after doing what I did for 23 years in prison. He wrote it down. The next time I see him, he came to a barbershop talk that I do with Project Give Back to Community. That's the organization that I work with. And I had two mothers. One had lost one child to the opioid crisis, and the other had lost two children to the opioid crisis. And as I was telling their story, out the corner of my eye, I could see Mr. Gillespie put his pad down and wipe a tear from his eye. That's when I started to really pay attention to the character of this man. The next time I seen Mr. Gillespie, we was at K. Coach James' house at a meet and greet, and as soon as he seen me, he lit up and he remembered my name. He remembered my name and he told me how much that story affected him. That's when I knew this was a great guy, because I'm a spiritual man and I believe in the number 3. 3 times in a row, I met this man and his character shined, and I felt like that was God telling me, this is a good guy. This is a very good guy. So, I bring to y'all our potentially new governor of Virginia, Mr. Ed Gillespie.
Jerry, thank you so much, not just for that kind introduction. Thank you for the advice that you have given me, for the leadership you provide in our community. And I wanted to share with folks here, have benefited immensely from my friendship and relationship with Jerry Lee. This is a very good man who is doing very good things, and he is saving lives in our communities by peer-to-peer recovery, and he's a peer-to-peer recovery specialist, and by criminal justice reform plan, which is based in the understanding that we all deserve redemption and reconciliation and second chances when we have paid our debt to society, and that we cannot keep punishing people time and time again for that. And I appreciate Jerry's leadership and his advice to me in that regard, and also the advice he has provided me when it comes to addiction recovery and mental health. Jerry, thank you for your leadership. Making time here to be with Kathy and me tonight. Let me say, Kathy is here with me tonight, our campaign trail. So I'm very lucky, we're very lucky. We've been married for over 30 years. And I also want to acknowledge a few other folks who are here today. I've got a number of running mates, a number of ticket mates. I'm so thrilled to be running with Jill Vogel, who's going to be an incredible lieutenant governor for us. And on November 7th, we're going to make history by electing the first woman Republican, or the first woman lieutenant governor in the history of the Commonwealth of Virginia, with Jill Vogel. John Adams, who is today running mate for Attorney General. John will be a great Attorney General. One of the reasons he'll be such a great Attorney General is because John Adams will apply the laws of the Commonwealth of Virginia, not make up his own. He'll be a good lawyer for the Commonwealth, and John will be a great Attorney General. I'm proud to be running with him. In our General Assembly for House of Delegates, I just want to ask Cheryl Buford and Lolita Manchendo Spoke to stand, please, for a second. And we are running to get things done for the people of the Commonwealth of Virginia. And we need to get things done for the people of the Commonwealth of Virginia. One of the things I want to share with this audience here tonight, with this crowd, is we've got to have more economic opportunity and allow for more upward mobility. As many of you know, I am the son of an immigrant and proud to be the son of an immigrant. My father came to this country as a child. He was 8 years old. Because his father, my grandfather, found work in America. And my grandfather was a janitor. And he worked at a big bank building in Philadelphia. He'd start at 6 o'clock at night, the night shift. And he would start on the ground floor, emptying the waste baskets and mopping the floors and emptying ashtrays back when he smoked in office buildings. And over the course of an 8-hour shift, floor by floor by floor, he would work his way to the top story, the 18th story. And the last thing he would do would be to polish the big wooden conference table in the boardroom. And he'd get home around 2:30, 2:45 in the morning on the public bus system there in Philadelphia. My parents never went to college. Two of the smartest people I've ever known, and two of the hardest working. They worked on their feet all day long in a grocery store, the J&C Market. J&C were Jack and Connie, or as I knew them, Mom and Dad. And in my family, when you turn 12 years old, you got a birthday cake and a present and a 4-hour shift at the J&C Market. And I know, and they insisted I go to college. And I took out student loans, and I worked my way through school. One of my jobs was as a Senate parking lot attendant, parking the cars for the staff that worked in the big office buildings on Capitol Hill. And that job led to another job inside one of those buildings, led to another job, and I got to grow up to be counselor to the President of the United States of America. From immigrant janitor to West Wing of the White House in 2 generations' time. America is a great country. Who come here looking for opportunity for themselves and their children and their grandchildren, we need to make sure that that opportunity is always there. And unfortunately today in Virginia, our economy is not providing the opportunities we need to, and we are not where we need to be. Our economic growth rate right now is 0.6%. And we are 39th out of 50 states in economic growth. Virginia. In wage growth, we're 44th out of 50 states. I know when it comes to economic growth and job creation and wage growth, Virginia should be #1 in the country, and we can be with the right policies, but we don't have those policies right now, and we will not have those policies unless we win this election in 9 days from today. But we're going to win this election 9 days from today. when we do, Cheryl and Lita, John, Jill, and me, we will get things done for the people we're elected to serve. And those things you can find on my website. Many of you are familiar with them. 20 specific detailed policy proposals that will make life better for all Virginians. And I will be a governor for all Virginians. And that's important. There is nowhere in the Commonwealth I will not go, because there is no one in the Commonwealth I will not serve. And I know my policies will create jobs and raise take-home pay, help people lift themselves out of poverty, make our communities safer, make our commutes less long, and will make our healthcare more affordable, will make our schools better. I've put forward policies for all these things. I'm not running to be our next governor because I want to be something. I'm running to be our next governor because I want to do something. I want to do a lot of things, and all those things have to do with making life better for all Virginians. And so I wanted to thank you all for coming here this evening, and we have a very special guest who has done a lot for the people that he's been elected to serve in the state of Ohio and for all of us in the country as a United States Senator and for the as U.S. Trade Representative as well. Before I bring him up, though, there are some folks I do want to thank. I want to thank Don Hodin, who has been a host for this, Mary Hay, who's been great for this as well. As well. We appreciate all of you need to bring out such a great crowd here this evening of wonderful Virginians who care about the future of the Commonwealth we love. And so I want to come back to these policies and these issues because some of the, in addition to getting great advice from Jerry on our addiction recovery and mental health plan, I've also gotten great advice from our next guest, who is the former U.S. Trade Representative and also current United States Senator from the state of Ohio. But he has been a leader in Congress in battling the opioid and heroin epidemic that we are dealing with all across the country, and I will make that a priority, as you all know, here in the Commonwealth of Virginia as well. We have got to put an end to this opioid and heroin epidemic, and I have a plan to do that as well. He is also taking a lead now in the Congress in battling human trafficking, which we need to do as well. He too is someone who grew up in a family business and appreciates the importance of small business, understands, and is working now on a tax package in Congress to help make it easier to open and grow a new business in the same way I am putting forward a plan to make it easier to open a new business and expand an existing one in the Commonwealth of Virginia, to put a greater focus on startups and scale-ups. That's the key to long-term sustainable job creation in Virginia. Rob Portman understands that is true for the country, and he's working right now on a tax package that will help us do that and get jobs growing all across the country. I'm thrilled to say he is my friend. I'm honored by his presence here today. Kathy and I count he and Jane as dear friends, and I want you to welcome, give a big Virginia welcome for a leader in our country, Senator Rob Portman.
I am so excited to support Ed Gillespie for governor of Virginia. Are we going to win? Yeah! Of course we are. You just heard the guy. You could not vote for him. He has specific plans to help improve the economic state of this great Commonwealth, to improve the education system for our kids, to help with regard to the transportation gridlock. How about that for Northern Virginia? We just started when I run in Virginia all afternoon. And finally, he's got a heart, doesn't he? And Jerry talked about it. And Jerry, you've seen it. I've seen it many times, and I've been privileged to be with him behind the scenes in the United States Congress, in the Oval Office, in his own home. I've seen what this guy's made of. And he does care. He does care about returning citizens. He does care about the opioid epidemic. And those kids who are being born with this addiction, ensuring that we can't turn the tide and give them the ability to achieve their God-given purpose in life. He does care passionately about Virginia, and that's why he's doing this. He has the plans to do it, and he has the knowledge and experience and passion to be able to carry it out. That's all we can ask for. Today when I was driving around Virginia, I had the opportunity to go to Old Town Alexandria, and to Fairfax, and to Arlington, and to meet with his supporters. And folks, there are young people all around Northern Virginia making phone calls, going door to door. They're convinced we're going to win this election. I see momentum building. I saw a lot of excitement and enthusiasm out there. I also drove by a church, and the church on the marquee said, "Love thy neighbor." And then below it said, "Even if they are Dallas Cowboy fans." And I thought, that's sort of what Ed Gillespie is about. Ed Gillespie is going to win this race because of you. Because you're going to make the phone calls, and you're going to knock on the doors, and you're going to talk to your friends and neighbors and co-workers, aren't you? People you go to church with, people who maybe don't normally vote. You're going to tell them they have to vote this time, right? Are you going to do it? Yeah! Of course you're going to do it. But once he's elected governor of Virginia, he's going to do exactly what his campaign signs say. He's going to be the governor for all Virginians. He's going to love thy neighbor, even if they supported the Dallas Cowboys, or perhaps voted for the other candidate, or a Democrat. He doesn't care. What he does care about is being able to lift up the citizens of this great state and to provide a model for the rest of the country. And that's why it's so important we win this race. The Commonwealth can be great again. The Commonwealth can get back on its feet. The Commonwealth can lead. And Ed Gillespie can be a national example of how to do that. That's why this election is so important. Please, please do everything we can over these next 9 days to ensure that Ed Gillespie, that Kathy Gillespie, as an incredible First Lady that she will be, has the opportunity to take that passion, that experience, the incredible energy and enthusiasm that he himself has, that we've seen on the campaign trail. I've never seen anybody work as hard as him, and allow him to use that to help all Virginians to be able to achieve their God-given goals in life. God bless you. Thanks for what you're doing. Go ahead.
Well, Councilor, I just want to say one last thing. Where's Jennifer? Over here. Jennifer, that was an incredible rendition of our national anthem. And I'm not taking anything for granted. We're going to work very, very hard over the next 9 days. But Jennifer, if you would please put on your calendar noon at January 13 of next year. I'm hoping I'm going to be looking for someone to sing the national anthem at an inauguration event. So thank you all so much. I'm going to turn it back to you.
Quý vị đây còn chưa qua bên kia để mình trả lời về báo chí, vì vậy cho nên quý vị cũng có ngồi lại ở đây và chúng ta còn không tối. Okay, anyway, he will leave over here in the next few minutes, but we ask you to stay where you
leave for private meeting with the media. So, Ed and Senator.
I'm Ed Gillespie, running for governor, and I'm here at the Eden Center with many members and friends from the Vietnamese community, which is an important community here in Northern Virginia and other parts of the Commonwealth as well. And Vietnamese Virginians are leaders in our communities. They contribute mightily to our economy, entrepreneurial and small business owners, as we see here in the Eden Center. And my policies will make it easier to open a new business and expand an existing one. My focus is on small business, and I know that we can make it easier for people to open a family-owned business and stores. And my policies would bring down our individual income rate by 10% across the board. And that is important because small business owners don't pay a corporate tax, they pay the individual income tax. And by doing that, we'll be able to create more than 53,000 new additional full-time, good-paying private sector jobs all across Virginia. And that's a 25% increase over current projections. I also want to improve our education system and make sure that every child in Virginia has access to a good, safe, quality public school, and my policies will do that, as well as improve our higher education system as well. And I will make my our communities safer. I'm proud to be endorsed by the Police Benevolent Association, the Fraternal Order of Police, and a majority of sheriffs all across Virginia. If people go to my website, edforvirginia.com, or my other website, forallvirginians.com, you can see the policies I've put forward to make life better for all Virginians, and I will be a governor for all Virginians.
cũng đời sống tốt hơn,
Gillespie,
an ninh hơn.
what would you do with the trading agreement with Vietnam was signed by Governor Macron?
Well, I believe the governor should have consulted with the Vietnamese community before reaching an agreement like that, and as governor, I would consult with Vietnamese Virginians to get their advice and their input before signing any agreements with the government of Vietnam.
So if you become, you were elected to be the government of Virginia. So they say that signed a memorandum of understanding with the provincial leaders of Vietnam, and they will evaluate commercial opportunity and foster further trade and economic development opportunity between the two entities.
Yes.
So, so will you, like you say, but I mean, if you become the governor,
yes.
And
if I become governor, I would review all existing policies of the current governor and all memorandums of understanding, and I would also, in reaching any kind of agreement with Vietnam or the provincial governments of Vietnam, would work with the Vietnamese community and would get their input before making any such agreement. And that's important to me, to have that input from Vietnamese Virginians and leaders in this community.
That's great. Thank you.
Thank you.
So, on November 7th is the day. Call your family, call your friends, and if you need, call your neighbors for transportation to get to the poll. I think two persons you can call us a little Đoàn Hữu Định and Miss Hải Yết. Okay. Vote for the best way forward. Vote for your future. Vote for a better way of life. Vote for our next Virginia Governor, Mr. Ed Gillespie. As the governor, Ed Gillespie will make Virginia the best state ever for everyone to live in. So the next governor of Virginia, I would like for you all remember, go to the poll and vote for Ed Gillespie and all Republicans. Thank you.
Some of our community members can get their families impacted back home. And that is why I took it as a personal mission to unite with the Vietnamese community and fight when sometimes you cannot fight. To be the voice when sometimes you cannot scream for the attention. And that is why I commit to you my pledge. This was before I even decided to run for office. I was with you. And my pledge to you is that this election is your election. This election, we come together as one people. Together, you can make the difference by coming out to vote. I know a lot of folks don't vote in these types of races, but believe me, you come together out on the polls November 7th, and we will commit to together change the dynamics of our people in the legislation of Virginia. So your vote is precious, and I ask you please for the honor of your vote, because you will have a seat at the table if I get elected. That is my pledge to you. Thank you.
But we are at a crossroads, and this election is very important. It's important for our future freedoms, which, as I have met people who have adopted the United States, they weren't necessarily born here, they chose to become Americans. You understand that, I think, in a way that some of us who have been here for many generations don't. You understand how precious freedom is. And this election is about the future. It's about our freedoms, freedoms to own a small business, to grow that business, freedom to worship, freedom to a speech and of association. All of those freedoms will be impacted by this election. So I thank you very much.
One of the biggest things that I'm really pushing for is reforms when it comes to the physical and digital security of all Americans. We've noticed over the past few years that there's been quite a few breaches with regards to companies like Equifax, agencies like OPM, various things of that nature. What I've been talking about since February, my opponent is starting to pick up on, is the fact that we need to fight digital security at the source, which is the Social Security Administration. I've been proposing changes to how the Social Security number is used, and adding more security to that will allow us to tackle more important issues like immigration reform, issues with E-Verify, tax fraud, various different types of fraud can be addressed by dealing with it at the source, which is the Social Security Administration. Another thing I've been, a proponent of, I'm a U.S. Army veteran, and something that's near and dear in my heart is the failings of the VA. There's constantly issues that come out. My friends have issues with Veterans Affairs, and you see it all the time in the news. There's not enough accountability, and there's not enough governance or transparency in the VA. Our current administration is doing a lot, but there's a lot more that needs to be done. And I hope that if I get elected next year, I can push for there to be a Veterans Caucus to focus on veterans issues and deal with those issues on a daily basis. I'd like to say God bless you all. God bless the Commonwealth of Virginia, and God bless the United States of America. Thank you guys. Yeah!